Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to The Selfish Truth. I'm Niels Hansen, and I want to talk about something that I tweeted last night, and I'll let you know. I was feeling relaxed. I had a little bit of wine in me, but it doesn't change, and I don't regret, even though I got rid of it. I actually deleted the tweets because it caused such a kerfuffle, and I didn't really want that spilling over in people. Because what would happen is people would read later things, and this is what happened is they would start reading responses that I was making to random individuals, random nobodies. And I know people are like, oh, you can't say that, blah, blah, blah. To me, they're nobodies. They don't mean anything. They're not a subscriber, they're not a viewer, they're not a name I recognize, they don't follow me, I don't give a shit about them. But what happens is they only see my response, they're like, wow, what a dick. Look at him, he's lashing out at these people. Meanwhile, they're the ones that initialize the lashing out. They're the ones that are disrespectful to me, but there's this, I don't know what it is with people, but they're like, well, you have subscribers, or you have this many followers, or whatever it is, you need to take the upper road. Why do I have to take the upper road? I'm a human being just like them. If someone talks smack to you, you're going to defend yourself. As far as I see it, it's like verbal bullying. So I'm not going to sit there and take it because I've got subscribers, because I've got people watching. I'm going to lash out, and I'm going to demoralize them. But you know, the problem is that other people see it and they're like, why did you do that? It's like, oh my god, do I have to go back and explain everything? Like, do I have to say, hey, why don't you look at the Twitter timeline and figure it out? But it never happens that way, because people just randomly come on and, you know, they drop in the middle of it and they don't know the context in which it was started. But here's the tweet. Now, before you react to this, for the love of God, just please hear me out before you start getting all angry. Honestly, you can put whatever you want down. I don't care about your opinions. Like I said before, as long as you're respectful and you don't go flying off the handle like you know you're from the gutter and you're swearing all the time or personally insulting me or anything like that. Disagree with everything that I say, no problem. I don't care. I really don't care. I don't give a crap. Look at this channel. Is it going anywhere? No. Well, at least not right now. Anyway, not with videos like these. And dislike it. Oh no, you disliked the video. As I said before, I expect people to dislike. I expect people to do that because I don't typically see eye to eye with majority of the public. So for me, it's surprising when I don't see a lot of dislikes. It really is. I'm shocked. I'm like, I think maybe people are just agreeing to agree, but you disagree, then dislike. It doesn't bother me. I'm not here to pretend that that I agree with you or that I'm taking the right choice. I give opinions, that's it. And a lot of times they may be wrong. You know, a lot of times they probably are wrong, or whatever that means, you know, based on your knowledge and your perception of things. But I'm not watching, and I don't mean this as egotistical, but I'm not watching your video. You're watching mine. You're here to hear my opinion, so it's a very one-way street. That's the reality of it. And when I make statements like that, people get offended. It's like, well, that's just the truth. The sky is blue. You're here watching this video to listen to my opinion. You know what I mean? In all honesty, if I wanted to hear other people's opinions, I'd go watch their videos, or I'd go read a blog that they wrote. You know what I mean? Here I'm just expressing myself. I know, it's crazy. Look, you're a monster! So this is what I wrote. I said, the upper class exists, and I'm talking about like the 2%. You know, there's always this Occupy Wall Street. The upper class exists because the general public are ignorant, lazy, and something else. I don't even remember what the last word was, but it was enough to set off World War III, Armageddon. And then all of a sudden there was people, and I'm going to mention this. I don't have anything against YouTubers, and I'm not even going to mention the name, and some of you already know who it was, but it was like, you can't say that I was poor, and blah, blah. I didn't say anything about poor, and obviously, you know, I said the general public are lazy. I'm talking about the general masses. If any of you have taken psychology at all, and know what I'm talking about, I'm not talking about kids who play a lot of video games, no offense, but you have no life experience. You don't know the context. You don't understand what I'm saying because you haven't been exposed to it. I'm not saying you're stupid. You just have never been exposed to these sort of things, these concepts, which is why I talk about it, which is why I make videos instead of doing tweets the odd time that set off bombs, social bombs. But a common look is the bell curve. I'm going like this because it's like the bell curve. And typically, while this is used for, you know, intelligence, they say, you know, majority smack dab in the middle, the top you know, geniuses or whatever at the very extreme of the 2% of this giant bell curve. So it goes really dumb people, and then the majority of the people, huge amount here, and this is, you know, their intelligent averages. And these aren't like just made up numbers. These are like after millions, thousands, hundreds of thousands of tests. This is just what they found. Does it mean that people are... Anyway, I'll get into this after, because people start reading into it, and already now, don't put a comment down yet. Just let me explain before you make yourself look like an asshat. So it goes down there, but that bell curve can apply to so many other aspects of life, not just intelligence, but like ambition. Most of the people are trudging along. They'll work hard enough, they're ambitious enough that they'll want to get a job, a good job, and want to get that raise, a good raise. And then there will be the, you know, the lower half here that just are lazy pieces of shit, or on the other extreme, have a mental disability or something that prohibits them from actually being ambitious, that they need help, right? And I understand that. I'm not a monster here, people, you know, despite how some people perceive me to be. And then you have the other extreme, the 2%, who are the super ambitious. Oh my, I'm gonna get really dry mouth here. Honestly, this is my first coffee of the day. My head may be clouded. This may be a long video. You may already know that by looking at it. I'm assuming this one's gonna drag on. And then you have the upper 2%, who probably are super ambitious. They're going for like presidency. They're going for, I'm going to be the CEO of a company. I'm going to start a company. I'm going to be self-employed. People that are self-employed are very different. Their ambition level is way higher than people that are just going in society. There's risks to take. There's your own money. There's gambles. There's way more work involved to start a business than there is to simply apply for a job. And that's what I'm talking about, the bell curve. So when I'm saying, and I'm not... Listen, I'm part of that. I'm part of that whole spectrum. Am I upper class? No. I don't have a Mercedes in the driveway. I have a Pontiac, Montana. I live in a shoebox of a home. This is like a starter home that we've been in here for, is it 11 years? 10, 11 years? I don't know. Whatever, around there. Maybe less than that. I don't know. Somewhere around there, a decade. You know, would we like a bigger house? Sure. Do we have the money for it? No. I'm not upper class. I'm not saying that I am or putting people down. This is the bullshit of Twitter. People like, you're acting like an elitist, blah, blah, blah. Like, you're assuming that I'm actually part of that group, that I'm making myself out to be one of those upper class. I'm simply pointing out what I perceive to be as the status of why there is the elite. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not putting people down. I'm not putting those people down. It doesn't mean that I'm not compassionate for those people, that I think those people deserve, you know, to be miserable and everything like that. But the reality is the majority of the public are not ambitious enough, are not smart enough, are not, you know, they don't have enough drive to do what the upper class does. Whether or not they're super smart or whatever, they have enough knowledge, they have enough drive to try and persevere. And I know there was all sorts of stupid comments. There's always 6 million parameters of any statement. You're like, well, look at all these kids with the silver spoons. I'm talking about the general people, the ones that actually started the company, not their spoiled little piece of shit offspring that run around, run amok like Paris Hilton or whatever. She's a spoiled little bitch that came from a rich family. Is she ignorant? Oh, probably. Is she ambitious and as hardworking as her parents? I don't know. I don't know her. You know, I say ignorant and I say probably. I don't know her. And although we see her with a silver spoon in her mouth, she still has an opportunity. And she's still trying to do music videos, and she's still trying to do all this other stuff. And she's gaining this knowledge because it's probably passed down from her parents. Whether or not she had it, she was born into opportunity, yes, but she's also born and given information that allows her to continue to succeed in society and stay and maintain that upper class, you know, type of situation. And it's a knowledge that the general public, that you and I don't have. And even if we did have it, like I said, people's ambitions, people's will to roll the dice, take a chance, it's not there. That's how the world works. It's, you know, the masses are there, the masses work, the upper echelon, the upper class, those few people They understand how it works. That's how marketing works. That's why you buy products. That's why products and companies are able to make millions of dollars. They understand society. They manipulate them with commercials and say, you need this product and look how good and how amazing it makes you feel. Coca-Cola and cute little polar bears, and it's imagery, it's, you know, it's association. You see the brand, you see polar bears, you see something nice, you're like, I'm gonna have a Coke. Boom, yeah, I love Coke. And then people get defending and people argue about, I love Pepsi, Pepsi garbage, blah. It's all this over a product. And it's the same thing with politicians. Politicians look at the masses. They don't give a shit about you in particular. They see you as the mob. And it's about swaying the mob, and it's about saying what they need to say and sing these sweet songs in your ears to get you on board with their campaign. They're like, yes, yes, I feel it, I'm going to go that way. And half the time, and if you don't realize this, you're either too young or you're blind, half the time they don't even fulfill, you know, 50% of what they were promising you in campaigns. But it doesn't matter, and it happens every single time. This is what I'm talking about. That's what the statement was about, is that the upper echelon, ignorance, remember, is not stupidity. And if you didn't know that and you were taking offense, again, it's because you were ignorant, because you lacked the information. I'm not saying that you're stupid, because now that you know it, suddenly you're not ignorant on the word ignorant anymore. It just means lack of knowledge. It doesn't mean you could be a genius. You could be a genius with a 200 IQ and still be ignorant on certain subjects because you just aren't aware of it. It doesn't mean that you're dumb by any means. It just means you lack information. That's what the statement means. But of course, when I put it out there, and because the general public, they lack that information. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. You know, I put statements out like that because it bugs me. When I see that the general masses, and I'm part of it, and I try my best every single time. It's why I also don't vote. And I know that's a whole new discussion. You're not going to convince me to do it. I'm a grown-ass man. I'm not some 12-year-old kid that you're going to try and convince about why you should vote and the respect, and if you don't vote, then you can't criticize, blah, blah, blah. I'll do whatever the fuck I want. I know why I'm doing it, and I have my own reasons. And it's because of that manipulation, because of that lack of ability, and the fact that the machine just keeps on chugging along, whether it's PC, liberal, or whatever, Democrats or Republicans running in there. The machine just keeps on going and going. So I'm like, all right, I'll let the masses do it. I mean, they love getting involved because they have control over everything based on misinformation, which is what I'm talking about. So that upper echelon, when I say upper class, I'm talking about that 2% that everyone rants and raves. And what I said is that, and yet they feel like they deserve more, like they have a right to those people's money. You will never get it. As a general mass, as a general population, you will never have that, and those people will never give you the money. This earth, the problem is that everyone in these countries, you know, when you're living in whatever, United States, Canada, UK, anywhere in the world, I don't care where it is. Obviously, I'm not going to mention every country. Like, you didn't mention my country. We're democratic as well, you know, a democratic society. Great, congratulations. The world is set up so that you feel protected, so that you feel like the laws and everything are protecting you. You have freedoms and you have the right. Anyone can make it. Anyone can be rich, which is right to true to a certain degree. But not enough people have the ambition, not enough people have the knowledge, the know-how to actually do something like that. And they won't. That's why factories are filled with people. That's why other jobs are filled with general workers. And it doesn't mean that their lives are any less valuable than anyone else's. It's just the way it friggin' works. That's just the way society works. It's always worked like that. The mob and the elite. That's why dictators are able to dictate. You know, that's why there's always rulers, and why, you know, it goes on and on. But when I make statements like that, it's like, oh, you're bashing the poor. When did I say poor? I'm talking about the general masses, the general public. So, and I know, you know, that one person when you're seeing it was like, oh, it started getting all offended. Well, I came from nothing, I came from poor. First of all, and then it was like, you know what, this is a bad thing, let's just comment. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to try and be as respectful as possible. I don't care how many subs you have, how big you are, who you think you are. When I express myself, I'm not worried about what you think. If you like what I say or what you don't like what I say, I express myself freely. And if you misunderstand it or misinterpret it, that's on you, that's your fault. But don't play this, I'm a victim and I'm going to be the bigger man and everything like that. Fuck that. That's some bullshit. You want to know where I came from? I grew up, if you're from Toronto, I grew up in Jane and Finch area. And if you know that area, you know that that's basically the hood of Toronto. That's like the poor people, the highest crime, the highest murder rate. You think my family, I came from money? You know, he was acting as if I was assuming I was the rich person. You know, I have been on welfare before because times got rough for me. You know, I had a spout of falling into drugs and everything like that on my own, being kicked out of my house, struggling. You know, I went, and instead of becoming nothing and feeling sorry for myself, I decided to turn my life around. I joined the military, got 3 years, got a trade, got out, went into insurance. I didn't have a college diploma or university degree. I have no letters behind my name, and yet I still made it in the insurance industry, despite that all of my colleagues had a diploma or a degree. I was one of the only, as a matter of fact, my last job before I went into this, I remember my manager sitting me down, and I was already in the job. This was when I was a casualty claims specialist, and my caseload was basically traumatic brain injury or pediatric injuries, like for children in car accidents. So either people that were in comas, paraplegics, and I had to settle claims worth millions of dollars with lawyers. That was my job, and it was stressful, and it actually ended up costing me and giving me a stroke. But I remember sitting in my manager's office, and he's like, "How did you get this job?" And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "How did you get this?" Because he wasn't the one who hired me. It was the main corporate, in Toronto. Like, this was in London, and I went to the interview in Toronto, and they hired me for the branch. Like, he didn't actually do the hiring. He's like, "How did you get this job?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "I'm looking at your resume, I'm looking at everything that you've done, and you don't have any credentials. You don't have a diploma, a degree. You don't have even certification within this own industry." Almost everybody around me, including my wife, I think it used to be right there, but she has her CIP, Certified Insurance Professional. It's a designation that you get from taking a number of courses so that you're supposed to be like a professional in your industry, which I always thought was poppycock, and I refused to take any courses. And it brought me to that guy, and he's like, "How did you get here?" I'm like, "I don't know, I bust my balls off." It was always, for me, it was an uphill battle. I looked at that because I had ambition, because I have ambition, because I have drive. I may not have letters behind my name. I may not have gone. I went originally to university. I was going to be a math teacher. I went to University of Guelph, mathematics honors. Fell into drugs. Oh, I need some more coffee here. At least wet my whistle. Love math. Wanted to be a math teacher, but doing LSD every day doesn't help. Numbers melt and stuff like that. Whatever. I don't do drugs anymore, obviously. I've got a family. I don't need to do it. We don't need to get in that discussion. But, it was my drive. And every time that I fell down, I could have stayed down. And what I find, and this is my personal opinion, what I find is people in that situation, and I read it everywhere, and for me, it just sickens me. I just see it as weakness. People that have a horrible situation, they use it as a crutch. "Oh, well, I was this, and I was this, and blah, blah, blah. And, oh, look at me, woe was me. Guess what? So was I. Oh, well, I was beaten. I had a horrible childhood. Guess what? So did I." Till the age of 16, I was mentally and physically abused. Mainly physically abused. Until Children's Aid removed me from my house. So don't talk shit to me about how horrible your life is. And, "Oh, this is the way it is, and you don't understand, and you act like..." You think I came like with a silver spoon up my ass? I fought for everything that I have. That's why I don't have patience for people that play the victim. People that put their hand on and say, "We deserve more." Why do you deserve more? Life on this planet is about survival. Don't kid yourself. All these rules and these rights and these regulations that protect you are meant to keep you safe and make you feel productive under the bubble of your nation in the United States. Make you feel productive because they want you to start spinning your gear. You are a cog, you are a gear in a complex, the watch of America. And they want you to keep on going, so they make you safe, make you feel productive. You know what I mean? You're just another number. That's the way it is. And it needs to be like that for the way it's set up and the way that society is set up. So when I make statements like I did, I'm not bashing. I'm looking at this and I'm saying, this is how I see the world. This is how I perceive things to be. I see people as just, playing the victim, looking for handouts. Oh, my situation is so bad. Get up and change it. Oh, if you don't have an education, bullshit. I went from nothing and working hard and trying to understand it and pushing myself with no credentials, with nothing to back me up. I had to prove to every single one. I had to work way harder than my colleagues who had degrees, because they had degrees, because they went to university and, let's face it, memorized a lot of stuff. You get a BA in just general arts. That's about memorization of dates and stuff. I'm not putting you down because I don't know and I'm jealous and everything. I don't give a crap. I'm glad, personally, that I didn't waste my time going through that. And life has treated me so much, has turned out well for me. So, it's frustrating to me. So when I make general statements like that, I'm not attacking people, but I'm sick also, and I'm going to say this, I'm tired of people acting like, oh, well, you have a YouTube channel, you got followers, you got to be cheery and nice all the time. I don't hate my life. I know these videos make it look like all I am is, is miserable, but I only do these when I'm feeling something, when I'm like, you know what, I'm going to say something, I'm going to put this video out there. But in my general day-to-day, I'm playing games, I'm playing with my kids, I'm going out, I'm having fun, I'm trying to think of ideas. 95% of my time is enjoying life. The 5% I spent here expressing this to you, being passionate with you, being honest with you. Anyway, that was it. I could ramble on, which I already have because it's already over 20 minutes. Oh my god, my mouth is parched. But the bottom line is, that's why I'm so critical. I'm that person that came from nothing. I'm that person who was abused, that had a crap life, and I turned it around. And I know not everyone is strong like that or can do that, but that's why I have it. If you want to see why I'm so harsh and so critical on that, it's because of that. And because I know that most of the people will stay in this lull, this sheep herd, and will never break out. I feel like I broke away from the flock. I am a sheep. I'm still a sheep. I just don't follow what everyone else does. I don't think that I'm an upper class. If I did, I wouldn't be living here. Hell, I probably wouldn't be doing anything. I'd be buying houses, investing my money, and doing all that other stuff. I wouldn't have even made YouTube videos. I wouldn't be making YouTube videos. Honestly, I wouldn't. I'd be out exploring the world. But I can't pretend also that I want to hold hands with everyone and I respect everyone. Do you respect everyone in your life? Is everyone that you met, everyone that you've seen, everyone you've heard on TV, do you like them? Because that's the way people act on Twitter. They act like everyone should be loving each other, which is such an unrealistic gobbledygook of horseshit. It absolutely is. There's pedophiles, there's people that are mean to animals, there's atrocities in other countries where people are slaughtering each other, throwing, machetes. Look what happened in Rwanda. Was that an isolated case? Was that just one psychopath? We're like, oh, they're mentally, psychopathic or whatever. No. We're talking about general people. I don't trust human beings. I love life. I love this planet. I love probably animals more than I love people, in general sense. At least I understand where they're coming from. They're based on instincts. They're doing what they do because it's survival. Whereas we hide and pretend like we're so much higher, yet we do the same. We do horrible things. We do worse things for horrible and stupid, selfish reasons. Unlike animals. If anything, animals have a better, I don't know, I just respect them more. At least you can understand why they do what they do. Defend themselves or, try and keep their bloodline going or whatever by killing off. Whereas we hide behind all of this stuff and then we pretend like everyone's okay. I don't. Oh, it was a controller upstairs. Someone's playing PlayStation. I'm like, what is that? Some sort of drill. Anyway, I don't want to ramble on. I've done enough. We're going on to 24 minutes here. That's it. That's my whole thing. If you get angry, if you disagree, that's fine. Express yourself. Dislike the video. And if you feel like, like I said before, I don't care if you disagree with everything that I've said, that's fine. I'm telling you why I feel the way I do and how I see the things that I do, and that's it. You're not going to change my opinion. Certainly not. And I'm not here to change your opinion. I'm just here, to express a video, and you listen to it, maybe to elicit some thought or whatever. Maybe you completely disagree. Whatever. It's a video. That's all it is. Go on with your life. And if you're getting angry, get the fuck over it. It's a video. I don't know you personally. I'm not attacking you personally. And you don't know me. At all. At all. That's it. Another video. Selfish truth. Honest. I'm not trying to bash people and make you angry. I just speak my mind. That's it. Don't be a sheep.